Merry Christmas, everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and of course, I'm here, like always. Yeah, like always. And today, me and Lummy wanted to personally tell you that we hope you had a happy and safe Christmas this year. And I also wanted to talk to you about a few other things as well. They're Christmas oriented, and some things that are technical. But let me just get the technical done real fast, because it's not very long. I got the new lens, and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. The problem is I don't have a color correcting filter for it, because it's a 52 millimeter, and the only filter I have is 49. So, I would have to show it to you on the other cameras that we have, so you can see the results. And I'm not going to start unplugging cords and messing up my configuration right now, just to show you one lens video. So I'm waiting for the special filters from China that go inside the cameras, and then I can show you. Otherwise, I would have to pick up another 88 filter to place on the front of the lens. I will show you that video sometime soon. Probably around mid-January, you'll see the new lens demonstration. Today, we celebrate the birth of a king. And that's what Christmas is about, is the birth of our Savior, Jesus of Nazareth, who was born in this case in inconvenient circumstances, and not even having a real place to rest his little head, born in a stable. And we know from the traditional explanation at the time of the way the stables were created over there in Israel, it was probably more likely a cave, not a wooden structure like we would see stapled today, because there just wasn't much wood in Israel. However, some homes actually had this. The stable was usually like the lowest room or lowest floor in the dwelling, usually below the main floor of occupants. But since it wasn't in, it probably would be more or less a stone outcropping where the baby Jesus was born. One of the most important things that makes me think about is how many people really give thanks to Jesus and realize that, that he was born in poverty. In this case, Mary and Joseph didn't have a nice house. Mary and Joseph didn't even... Joseph was taking his wife back to Nazareth because that's where they had come from, or Bethlehem. And because at the time of Augustus Caesar's census. Now, we would do censuses differently today, but that's not the point, okay? So they went into a place where the travelers lodged, which we would probably consider an inn. It could be a bed and breakfast, I don't know. Basically, where people came together. Because there were so many people in this place, there was no room. And the innkeeper told them, "I'm sorry, I don't have a room." So Joseph asked him, said, "Please, my wife is pregnant. I need to have her get ready to give birth. Please help us. At least anything." So he said, "Okay, fine. You can sleep with the sheeps, the goats, and of course the donkeys." So they had to put the little donkey, had to have a place to bed itself for the night too, because I'm sure the poor little donkey was tired. So the point I'm trying to say is that Jesus was not given the best welcoming in to his life. having to face the trials of being born in a stable and sleeping in a manger. And then growing up because of the concerns of Herod, of being told his family was to flee to Egypt and to stay there for a few years while he was still learning his father's trade of being a craftsman. We always see he's a carpenter, but his dad was like my dad in a lot of ways. He was a little bit of everything. It was more like my Uncle Kenny, actually. He could do a little bit of plumbing, he could do a bit of electrical, he could do a little bit of course, they didn't have plumbing or electrical back then, but my uncle did do stonemasonry, and so did my dad. So, I grew up in a house of tradespeople, so I certainly understand the way things are. Rusty, you're blocking my camera, you know that? Don't show your butt on TV. Come on. Ugh. These are the only guys I spent Christmas with. And they, I think that's probably the hardest thing to explain. You see, when I was younger, Christmas was always a wonderful time for me because I had, a great time on Christmas Eve. All the family would get together. We would Christmas pastries and getting a chance to see relatives I haven't seen for a few months, a year. Getting a chance to get caught up on the family news and views and information that I could use. Sorry, Chris, I had to borrow your lines because it's perfect. But sadly enough, for the last few years, Christmas has been kind of stagnating. The last time I was truly alone for Christmas was about 2003. But even then, I wasn't totally alone because I was able to go see my mother and my father when they were still living at that time. You see, my mom and I don't really have much of communications anymore. For reasons that are really kind of complicated, and I don't want to go into them right now, but I will tell you this much. I really wished, Mom, that you could get over the past and start over. I made my effort. I put my olive branch out. I forgave you for all those things. I just wish to God and the goddess that you would call me at least once. Or give me a Christmas card. You know where I live. There's no reason why you don't. I'm sure you see me when you're driving down Main Street. There's no reason why you could not have done so. I'm not angry at you anymore. And I don't know why you're still holding a grudge against me. Please. And this is for all my other audience fans. If you have relatives, brothers, sisters, whatever, and you have gotten distanced from for reasons that a simple blow up or whatever, life is too damn short to sit there and hold a grudge. I watched a TV show on CMT yesterday, which I taped, called Raising Hope. And it was about this exact, well, not exactly, but it's pretty much just the same. But the same topic, okay? The older woman, which was, I think it was Virginia's mother, it was Mother's Day show. I'm going to use it as Christmas show because it certainly still fits. Barbara Jean's mother, I forgot her name now, had hold a grudge against Barbara Jean for a long time. And Barbara Jean kept saying her mother wasn't alive because she didn't want to work it out with her mom. Well, the laws of fate said, well, guess what, Mommy's still alive. And, it was a chance for finally Barbara Jean and her mom to sit there and mend their fences. In this case, it was over 25 cents. And for 70 years, they held a grudge against each other over 25 pennies. 25 cents is what we'd say in Spanish. I don't Spanish too well, so I'll put it in Italian. 25 centavos. Okay? The point is that it was after they finally mended the fences, the old lady went into the East bathroom and she passed on. At least the older woman, Barbara Jean, was at least able to say to her mom, I'm sorry. I was able to give her a final hug. Now that's a situation comedy, but guess what? Let's talk about the reality. We don't get those kind of opportunities all the time in life. Sometimes it just happens. About 2007, my dad died. I'm not exactly sure the year. I kind of forget. It's been a long time. He did not die a happy death, mind you. He had complications from cancer treatments and everything else. And I was unable, because I didn't know, to see him before he went. Maybe it was meant to be that way. I don't know. The point is I'm going to say this right now. If you got a relative that you love or you miss, mend your fences. Bury the damn hatchet and get out there and at least say Merry Christmas. Okay? I have offered my mom Merry Christmases. I kept wanting to tell her, but she never calls me. I have left messages with friends, my moms, my relatives, that know the story. And yet, my mother never picked up the damn phone. The thing is that you only got a short time on this earth until we go home. And then those of us who choose to come back again, well, that's great. Not everybody's going to choose that option. A lot of us who have been here for many times on earth have said, I don't want to come back. I'm tired of this trials. I'm going to try a course on the other side, they say. I'm not going to come back again. Yes, we'll see our family and loved ones on the other side, but still. The feelings make us ache. And Christmas is hard on me because I know how Christmas used to be. Now, I do my best to always put on a happy face. I try anyway. But you know what? There's some times that I just want to throw a temper tantrum and cry and yell and kick and scream. It's just basically throw hands in the air and say, I quit. But I realize that is not really the best way to go. I have to go on like everybody else. But it doesn't mean that, like a pressure vessel, I have to hold it inside and never let it out. We've seen what happens when people do that, don't we? Heart attacks, high blood pressure, strokes, obesity, diabetes, gray hairs, hair loss, sometimes a rage that explodes and spirals out of control, where you go out there and start shooting innocent bystanders or start hurting people you don't know. Alcoholism, drug abuse. So I kind of like to basically lance that festering sore before it becomes a bigger festering sore. And I do that by using my energy, my creative energy, to release the pus and try to just treat the infection with hydrogen peroxide as best I can. And pray to the goddess that it's going to heal. And that's the truth. Well, unfortunately, this year, the pustule is pretty full. And it's pretty big. But now I basically poked it, and now it's draining. And I feel better. There is no reason in this world of anything where people should be acting like that nobody in the world matters. I hurt inside because I can't even get my mother to say Merry Christmas. I can't. I have waited for weeks, months, years for my mother to at least say Merry Christmas, Michelle. I still think of you. Not a single phone call, not a single Christmas card, nothing. Not even a visit from my own brother, for Christ's sakes. If you know my parents, and you know my mother, and you know my brother, please bring this video to them. Please share this with them. Because, Mom, it is too long to sit there and hold a grudge. Will you please do us all a favor? And let's make it right while we still have time to make it right. I don't hate you. I forgave you years ago. But yet, I don't think you ever forgave me. Are you going to be like that old woman in Raising Hope, borrowing about 25 cents 70 years later? Barbara Jean could have given her 25 cents back in the 50s, probably without too much of a hassle. Even back in the 40s. But the sad truth is, she didn't accept the money. So, as I said, and this applies to all my fans, if you have somebody in your life that you kind of would like to mend the fences with, please do. You only have a time on this earth, and you don't know where they're going to be in the next life, and neither do you. You might be here. They might be. Maybe you might decide to go into another class just to get a next life. But I don't know. Maybe the positions next life will be reversed. That would be interesting. Yeah. Because I think of my dad and mom too. I mean, you had many parents. So have you. Tell me something about your life. You love to talk about comedy. Yeah. Did your mom and your dad ever abandon you and leave you for dead? No. No, but they didn't like the fact that I was fiercely independent. Sometimes I just didn't take the time to talk to them either. I was always claiming I was too busy. I think deep down I was just trying to make excuses. Because I think my father really wanted me to marry the butcher's son so he can marry into a higher income tier. But no, I thought about that, after all these years, and I don't think I should have been upset or thinking that I was going to upset him. It's just I thought I disappointed him. That's a really common thing, even for me. Yeah, but there's a difference, though. The difference is that your mother should have realized that she was given a gift, and that gift is something that is very special and unique. She shouldn't have done the equivalent of want to bring it back to exchanges and say, I want a new one. This one's broken. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much what she wanted to do, I think. Except, unfortunately, the sales clerk in heaven said, I'm sorry, no exchanges, no refunds. You're stuck with it. That's true. Well, let me ask you a question, though. Did you enjoy Christmas? Watching you sit there with a big black cloud over your head is not exactly what I call Christmas like. No. It's also hard, too, that since Ed and Tony left, there hasn't been anybody to talk to, for the most part. But, they have their own life, and they had to do the things that they had to do for themselves. And I respect that. And I know that it would have been nice if I had visitors that would come over once in a while and just spend a few hours or days. Dory might be coming over in a few days. I don't know, because I talked to her through text messages, and it sounds like she'd like to. Yeah. I also got a few more comments that I think are very hurtful, and I'm going to talk about them briefly. This is from Katie Anderson. She said about me, she said, a little fat Miss Piggy. Let me tell you something, that hurts. You know why? Because it's not fair. Some people have medical conditions that make us fat. And it's not because we love to eat until we explode. Or some of us eat because we're depressed. Or some of us because of both. Miss Anderson, let me just assure you that I don't know how old you are. You don't actually show a picture on your page. But, I think that's still not fair to judge another person. At least my face is on my page. So like it says in the scriptures, judge and ye, it means you, plural. That's what Jesus was saying. Or if I say it's individual, I say you will be judged by the same measure. So, Miss Anderson, my question for you is what are you thinking about? And why do you feel it's necessary to judge another person? And that applies to anybody. Why do we judge other people? Especially people we don't know. We sit there, we say, that one's fat, this one's, that one's crude, that one's nasty, that one looks like he hasn't taken a bath in a few years, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about. We don't even know the story of these people. I'm talking about, and I said the same thing about Angela. That's the same thing about Howard Stern and his staff. We're not to judge anybody. I'm not in a position to judge a person. So why shouldn't I just quietly mind my own, mind my own mouth for a minute, After all, I have problems with my own health. I keep trying to work on them, you know. But even the people that I find, you know, difficult to understand, I say to myself, Michelle, show them the good side of your personality. Give them a smile. You know, don't worry if they smell like they slipped in a garbage truck. I'm talking about the homeless especially that really try to find a place to sleep in. The point is they need a loving heart and loving hand too. And that's what Jesus wanted us to do. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And yet, every day we sit there and we criticize people because of their weight. And unfortunately, in this day and age, all the concerns about obesity, I do not hear anyone say to themselves, okay, this lady over there looks like she's kind of, like she's got quite a bit of, padding on her, but look at her personality. She's got a good personality. She loves everybody. She tries to respect everybody. She does not act like a nasty asshole, and that's what we should be doing. Whereas we see that little girl over there, she's clearly overweight. But she smiles a bit. Okay, so she hits it hard on the chocolate bars. Okay, fine. Does that mean that we should treat them with less respect than we treat our skinny, scrawny, stick-like frame? And trying to judge that person and saying that they're overweight because they have desires and can't control their appetites? That doesn't make any sense. I don't even eat that much, damn it. I really don't. I eat like one meal a day, especially during the holidays. You know what I had yesterday? Half a pound of pasta with cheese for the whole fucking day. You ain't telling me that I've been eating hard on the sweets, chocolates, cookies, ice cream. I don't even have those things in here. I'd like to see this Katie Anderson. Show me a picture of yourself. Stop hiding behind your avatar. Let me see you. Because remember what Jesus said. Judge, and you, in this case singular, will be judged by the same measure. But Jesus said, but ideally, we shouldn't judge you at all. We should just love everybody. Be good to them. For your friends and enemies alike, for the sun shines on the just and the unjust. Absolutely true. And yet, we keep forgetting that. Christmas time, we talk about the secular groups, talk about Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and elves, which are very important, mind you. But even Santa Claus would want the same thing from people, adults and children. Be good to everybody. Be holly. Be jolly. And enjoy the company of other people. So, Miss Anderson, the one thing I'd like to ask you is this. Why did you feel, out of all the videos that you watch, that you decided to blast me on a topic in that video that was not even the topic of that video? It was about 3 books I bought. 3 books. Okay? I think you need to understand that I am not trying to be Don DeLuise here or Roseanne Barr. I'm MicheleMarieDalene. This is me. All of me. You don't like it? That's okay. You don't have to carry the mass. I do. Do I like it? No, not really. But Am I going to stress over it? No, because it doesn't do any good to stress over something I can't change. I do my best, but I can't change this. This is who I am. Warts and all. Toenail fungus and all. You know, human beings come in all different sizes, shapes, colors, and that certainly applies to personalities as well. Some people are nice people. Some people are so acidic, you just don't want to be around them. I'm a nice person, but I certainly do have a tongue. If I need to use it, it can slice both ways. I don't want to slice anybody. I just want to just live my life as good and as proper as I can. Because that's what Jesus would want us to do. Something I think we've lost touch of. Just like I think we lost touch of the fact is that we should also forgive those who have hurt us. And we should do the same back and forgive them. Because maybe they didn't think about what they were doing. And even Jesus said, at the time of his crucifixion, he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they do." That's a very, very important thing to do. Forgive. Now, sorry this ran a little long today. Sometimes that does happen. And as I said, I did not do much for Christmas Eve. I did nothing, actually. Me and Lomi were working on trying to decide if we should buy a new camera gear for the studio or just hold off. And we still haven't figured out the answer yet. No, we haven't. In fact, it's really hard because I don't think really Michelle needs another camera. I think what Michelle needs is to focus on getting some more clothing and some new footwear. Yeah, I definitely think the footwear is definitely going to need to be done. Yes. But I don't want to buy crappy footwear that's not going to last a year either. I want to find some footwear that is of decent construction. Well, you know, the price you got, it's not like you're going to be able to do much. Oh, come on. I don't want to have to buy everything from China. We'd like to support the American economy somehow. Right now, the only choice is Walmart or Target. At least that's the ones that are closest to us right now. Maybe we could go, I don't know, we could check out some other stores, but they're going to cost more money. I'll think about it. The point is that they're not totally dismissing the camera off the menu. It's just that the new camera would be great as a second camera, so we can actually have two camera angles, so we can actually show two different positions. Yeah, but like I said, we also have to realize that we're going to be stuck with having to switch between set gear, and that's not going to be instantly, obviously, easy. No, unfortunately. Because you need a switcher, because otherwise, if you switch it wrong, you're going to get a loss of vertical retrace and horizontal retrace, which means you're going to see the picture kind of jump. No one likes that. You might also want to be able to do crossfades. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Yeah. So anyway, guys, for those of you who did manage to stomach your way through all the way into this video, I want you to have a happy and safe remainder of your Christmas. Have a happy and safe New Year's. Easy on the excessive sweets. And for God's sakes, if you had one too many tonight, please have someone else drive you home, okay? That's the last thing I want to hear about. Let's find out because of a DWI that someone ended up finding their Christmas destroyed by a drunk driver. Please exercise responsibility. And also make sure that be careful with Christmas trees and Christmas lights. Make sure that you don't go crazy with overloading extension cords and things like that. Because that can seriously be a really bad disaster. That happens every year. I know it's a little late, but for next year, put this in your quiver. Do not overload your extension cords. And make sure your tree stays watered. That's what you gotta do. I hear you, Rust. I think my cat wants to go out again. But, for now, I'm gonna say it together? Yeah. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye.